With the release of the new LEGO Ideas vending machine, we got some awesome minifigures, including these new Kraken and Griffin Knights. The actual set is pretty overpriced, but these figures are beautiful, and today I want to show off some cool ways to customize them, as they should be hitting Pick-a-Brick in around 4 months. My favorite of the two factions has got to be the Griffin Knights. The printing on this torso and legs is just fantastic, and my only real complaint is that the Zelda shield mold has a vertical handle only, which makes positioning the shield a bit awkward. Anyways, let's get into some of the custom figures that I made using their parts. Now, outside of the Griffins as a faction, you can make some super cool looking heavily armored knights with the torso or the legs. The legs are really cool with any sort of breastplate in my opinion, so I just made this generic knight with no real faction using them along with the heroic knight breastplate. I would love to see a truly generic pair of armored legs similar to the ones from the old castle sets again, but at least for now these are pretty solid, as the dark red can work with a lot of different factions and styles of figures. With the torso, I made this knight combining the flat silver and gold with some pearl dark gray using these cool dual molded legs from the CMF Fright Knight. This torso has got to be one of the best generic armored prints because you can truly combine it with a lot of different parts and make it work. That just makes me even more sad about the dark red on the legs, because the combo could have been just about perfect for any silver armored faction. Moving on to some actual Griffin Knights, I've made a cavalry member, although I'm thinking of making my cavalry ride griffins instead of horses when I make my army, but let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. This one uses the dragon paladin breastplate along with this absolutely awesome helmet from Eomer, which just fits perfectly with the color scheme. Next up, I've made a heavy infantryman that combines the torso with these clean 2013 Lion Knight legs. The silver with a hint of gold works so nicely with the torso, and I've given him this sweet looking dark red Mando cape from Capes for Minifigs, which I want to give to a lot of my Griffin Knights when I army build them. Now, the Kraken Knights aren't my favorite when compared to the Griffin Knights, mainly due to their color scheme of dark turquoise making them harder to combine with other torsos and legs, but I still do think they're super cool, and I made some fun customs with their parts. One easy upgrade that can be done with the standard figures is just swapping their armor color to pearl dark gray instead of reddish brown. The main issue with pearl dark gray is how hard it is to come by, but luckily the Viking helmet that they originally come with is available in pearl dark gray on LEGO's own online Pick-a-Brick service. Now, as much as I love the House Greyjoy seafaring Viking look for the faction, I also wanted to add some diversity with other helmets and styles, so to start it off, I've made this armored knight using the legs from a dragon knight along with the Kraken torso. The original Kraken legs look cool, but their printing overall just has a lighter armored look, so I figured some heavy armored printing would fit well for a more classic looking knight. Moving on, I've created a ranger using the dark green and brown legs from the CMF Rogue, and these honestly fit so well with the faction for some added diversity. It's unfortunate that they chose dark green and dark turquoise as the primary colors, because although they look cool, the torso and leg options you have for those colors are very limited and not terribly cheap. Another figure that I made for the Krakens is a rough draft for a Kraken queen using the pirate quartermaster torso in combination with the legs. She doesn't have the typical frilly and fancy look of a queen, as the faction is going to be piratey seafarers in my lore and not a faction that merely sits and looks pretty. I really love the Mercy hairpiece for this figure, as it gives her a crown that looks like it would actually be somewhat practical to wear around, unlike a huge and heavy one. Going back to the Griffins, I've made a simple guard using these really clean legs from the Conquistador CMF. These really complement the faction well with the gold armor and dark red printing, and they're a relatively cheap pair of legs that I will definitely be using in my army. Next up, I've combined the Griffin legs with the scale mail torso from an old Knights Kingdom figure, and honestly the combo doesn't look too bad. This was a more experimental figure, and I don't think it's by any means perfect, but I do think this dark red waist cape helps a bit to break up the mismatched printing, and the fig looks pretty cool. Moving on to a scale mail torso that works a bit better, I've made this light infantryman using this old Viking torso. The armor has a very similar design, with the only mismatch being the width and brighter silver color on the legs, and if the Crown Knights were dark red instead of dark blue, these legs would be fantastic for them, as they have the same scale mail style. Next up, I've made a couple more Kraken Knights, the first one using the arms and legs from the Wolfpack Beastmaster, which work pretty well with the brown and the color scheme. I also gave him a dark green helmet with a black visor to match the other colors a bit better, and he honestly looks pretty cool, especially with this huge hammer. For the final Kraken Knight, I've tried using some green dragon parts with a Kraken shield, and they honestly work fairly well, although I'm not sure how much I like all the gold accents since the original torso and legs don't have any gold. Ideally, I would give her some dark turquoise arms and maybe a dark turquoise Mando cape, but sadly I didn't have those parts to try out. For one final character that I made with the Kraken legs, we have this fancy duelist using the torso from the D&D Elf Bard. This combo definitely works well, especially with the brown arms and brown hat, but the torso doesn't seem like it would fit well into the Kraken army unless it was for a king or lord of sorts. Now, for the last few figures in the video, I combined some other factions with the Griffin Knights parts. The most obvious one that a lot of people were thinking were the Red Falcons, and I was super excited to do this, but the actual look of the Red Falcon torso and Griffin legs just don't look super good in my opinion. Both of these prints are fantastic though, and I definitely plan on expanding and diversifying both of these factions by swapping around the parts. For the final figure, I actually combined the griffin legs with the red dragons. I was recently playing around with some non-traditional colors for them, and I figured why not try the dark red and silver color scheme with one. This combo honestly works pretty well, and I kind of like it, although I don't think I'll be swapping my red dragon army to these parts. Anyways, let me know if you'll be army building either of these factions, and tell me which one of these combos was your favorite. If you plan on buying them from LEGO or doing any online shopping really, you might as well earn free cash back, and you can do so by signing up for Rakuten with my affiliate link in the description, and you'll also earn a bonus $30. If you like LEGO Castle content, subscribe because I upload every week, and as always, thank you for watching.